Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to get on and talk about the title, I Am Enough. I have been doing a lot of shadow work this weekend, which right now I'm in my fuzzies, which is my pajamas, because I thought, well, just get on here and be myself and be okay with it. And there's a snowstorm. Like this morning when I woke up, it wasn't really snowing, and now it's a whole blown snowstorm. So I've actually just took a bath and then put some real fuzzy pajamas on. And this is going to be my day. And somebody said the other day, because I'm working, and I usually work on Sundays. So because I'm working and when I get home, I don't feel like doing much of, on my social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you do. And I think that's so true because today I was like, well, I have time to do whatever I want to do. And here's the thing. Then I thought to myself, I am in a belief system that I am not good enough to not go to my job. And the crazy thing is that I don't have to go to that job. I only make a couple $100 a week, which is minimal, nothing. And I make the rest of my money on eBay. And if I would just focus all of my stuff on eBay, then I would probably just bring that up. But my belief system says, well, you can't make it solely online. My belief system says that. So maybe yours does too. And it's because I've not known how just a full-time job online has been. I've always got up and went somewhere and did something. Even when I owned my business, I would get up at 4:00 in the morning, go to my store, make it look all pretty, come back at 10, open my store, close at 6 or 7. And I was always doing something. But now we live in a universe, in a different kind of world that we can go to sleep and wake up and have money. And the reason I know this is because I do it with my eBay. I actually can put things on like 30 seconds, literally take a picture of this, put it on 30 seconds and say $100 and wake up tomorrow and be sold for $100. Yes, I have to do things. I have to put it on 30 seconds because I've done it for 20-something years. So I can teach you, but the more you do it, the smaller time it takes. And then, yes, I have to ship it out, but it does not take an hour. It doesn't even take 15 minutes. And I've made $100. I've made $50, whatever I've made. Not every time do I make that. Sometimes I make $100. Sometimes I make $50. Sometimes I make $5. It just depends on what I'm selling. But still, my belief system says, who are you to just go online completely? I'm getting there. But I was watching this podcast earlier, and this guy was like, I don't feel good enough. And he said, well, that's not the truth. The truth is somewhere down the line in your past, and I know I always bring this back to your past, but you have to really look at it. So once you are aware of where it came from, so then that's when it dissolves, and then you can start taking actions to fix it. So here's how it works. Just like right now, somebody's selling something's asking a question or buying something on eBay. So anyway, back to I'm not good enough. So the guy's like, I don't feel good enough. And he said, good enough about what? What happened? Somebody triggered me. So we'll use my mother triggered me. Okay. So where in your life, and she didn't make me feel good enough. So go back. Where in your life did you not feel good enough? Well, I wanted to do something and I asked my parents and they said no. So now I took on the belief that I wasn't good enough to do it. Maybe it was they had to go somewhere, something was already planned, but I took on my own belief, not theirs, that I wasn't good enough to be able to do what I wanted to do. And I was like, and I've done this before, but we always tend to forget. I am a person that's been going to the gym. I haven't been going to the gym for a while, but before I would always go to the gym. I would always walk. I would always exercise. And this winter has been a really bad winter. So I've been a person that's not been going to the gym, a person that's not been out doing walking, a person that's not doing what she loves. So until you are the person that goes to the gym, then you're a person that doesn't exercise. So for my belief system, I am a person that doesn't exercise in the winter, which is the winter is an excuse I'm using to not exercise. You see what I'm saying? It's layers, layers, layers. So the reason you don't feel good enough is because back when you were 4, somebody said you couldn't do something, and your mom might have been like, you can't do that right now. We're going to the grocery. It could be that simple. Or it could be, no, you cannot do it. We don't have the money right now. And now gave yourself the belief, your own belief, I'm not good enough. Nobody loves me. Now, look at your life right now as how old you are, and look at your life and say, well, somebody triggered you. So now you're saying that brought you back to when you was a child and you didn't feel good enough. But is that true? Because you are good enough, right? You're good enough to have whatever you wanted. Now, when you were a child, somebody could tell you that, not that you're not good enough, but could tell you, no, we can't do that right now. You might have had 10 brothers and sisters. You don't know what was going on in their lives for them to say no. But today you can say yes to yourself because you're an adult. So your child inside is like, I want to do this, but I don't feel good enough. But you do, because it's your own thoughts, your own illusions that are saying that you're not good enough. So you have to drop that and say, oh, well, I didn't think of it that way. Maybe they were doing something, maybe that, and when you look at it and say, well, mom always had 10 kids and she had a job and she had this and you look at it like that and it's like, well, that's not that I wasn't good enough. That was maybe she didn't have time or we didn't have time or whatever whatever thing you want to tell yourself. And then say, but that's not true for me right now. So I gave myself the belief that I wasn't good enough, which was not true. So now you can drop the I'm not good enough and say, I can do whatever I want. I love this so much because, and I've done this 100 times, but here's the thing. If you don't practice that you're good enough, keep doing your I'm good enough things, then you fall back into the old patterns or I'm not good enough. You have to recognize it and you have to grab it and say, this is not true. Because overall, this is not true. We are all good enough. We are all one of one. So if you believe in God, then you're one of an image of God, which is all one. So you can't not be good enough. When you were born, you were good enough. And then somebody told you, no, you can't do this. No, you're not this. No, you can't dance. Stop wearing makeup. Stop doing that. And there's the layers that you have to take the responsibility, the ability to respond, how you're being triggered, the trigger. Now you're being triggered. Take the responsibility to figure out where you felt like this and go back to say, is this true? I have journaled all weekend, like da 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 da. Now this is just one video that I'm making because I'm making more videos of other aspects that I've learned over the weekend. So this is one thing that I want people to really get a hold of, because we are creating our own reality with our words and our thoughts. So when you create your own reality and you believe you're not good enough because your mom said no to you, and here's the thing, say you're married and you're like, honey, I want to do this. I'm so excited. I want to, build a barn or whatever. And he's like, oh, honey, we're not going to do that. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. It's a default. You're defaulting to it because you haven't cleared it up. It's not like literally feel yourself. It's when he's not even saying why, you're not having, before you even ask why or discuss it, you're already feeling not good enough. I've done this 100 times. It's very slight now how I do it, but before it was like, oh my God, I feel like, oh no, I can't have it anymore. And I'm a 55-year-old woman. Why? Not good enough. Clear this up. Are you good enough to have the whatever you want? Yes, you are. You have to take the responsibility to clear it up, and then you can have whatever you want. Another big thing is we're worried about what other people think about us. And here's the thing. We're not worried about what people think about us. We're worried about what we think about us. Well, maybe I'm not good enough. Nobody out there is saying you're not good enough to do what you're doing because nobody even knows your idea yet. Now we're on another subject, but nobody knows your idea yet. And nobody's even telling you anything about it yet because you haven't told anybody, but already you're feeling I'm not good enough. Well, I shouldn't put the video out. I shouldn't do this. Maybe somebody will feel weird about it. Or if I say what I want to say about the politics, maybe somebody will hate me. It doesn't matter. You have to be you. If people hate you, let them go. If people love you, they will stay. Done. You don't want the people to stay that are not for you anyway, because then that just makes you being somebody you're not wanting to be. Every time you go around that person, you'll feel like you have to not talk about what you want to talk about. But you're good enough even if you talk about whatever you want to talk about. So I'm going to leave that video here. Let me know if you need any more guidance with this. It's kind of hard to believe, but we are giving ourselves the permission. We are looking at ourselves and saying that we're not good enough, because whatever you say to yourself is what you create. Inside your body comes outside and creates. So look at your house. What have you created? Look at your car. What have you created? Look at like the accident. I created that. I created this house. I created the vibe that I have right now. Now, everything, and that's me. I take the responsibility for everything. This might not be for you. You might be like, well, I'm not taking responsibility for anything that's everybody else's fault. If that's you, this video is not for you. But if you want to take responsibility for everything that goes on with your life and heal it so you can get to a new vibration and get more happiness and love and peace in your life, then this video's for you. I love you so much.